Hey guys, it's time for another video blog of the 1987 WWF Superstars of Wrestling TV season. Three very interesting episodes, and one of them being very important. Let's get right to it. The first episode aired on May 30th, 1987. It aired in Anaheim, California, at the Convention Center. So we start the show off with a tag team match. Tom Zink, Rick Martel, the Can-Am Connection against the Islanders, Haku and Tama. Two babyface tag teams. And for a little bit, it's, a good match. Now all of a sudden, Bobby Heenan comes out during the match, gets the Can-Am Connection distracted, and then all of a sudden, the Islanders attack Martel and Zink. It ends up being the Islanders winning the match via countout, and we find out that Bobby Heenan's new tag team are the Islanders, Haku and Tama. After that, we have an update from Craig to George, and this update is actually a fun one. It's George the Animal Steel at the ice cream factory where they make the WWF ice cream bars. Now, I just want to say for the record, we want the ice cream bars back, damn it. We want them back. You gotta listen to the fans. So anyway, after the update, the next match is the Honky Tonk Man against Billy Anderson. Now, at this point, they are still campaigning to ban the DDT. So, Jimmy Hart has the ban the DDT sign. And Honky Tonk Man wins with the Shaker Island Roll. We come back. Hacksaw Jim Duggan is in action against Iron Mike Sharpe. And this actually is, I believe this was the last appearance that Jim Duggan would make for quite some time because of that incident that took place between him and the Iron Sheik in Jersey. So Jim Duggan wins with, the 3-point stance. Then we get our second report on the comeback of superstar Billy Graham. And this one is probably the best of the updates so far because it shows part of the surgery that, Billy Graham had. And folks, let me tell you, if you've never seen this footage, it is very graphic. Very graphic. But, Billy Graham has the hip replacement, and we see him and Craig DeGeorge up in the desert of Arizona as he's got his little walker, pardon me, trying to climb the mountain. He falls, and he refuses help. He refuses help, and he said that he's going to make it to the top. So after that, we have the King Harley Race going up against Joe Murto, and basically, this is the entire match. Harley Race hits a move, 1, 2, Race pulls him up. Harley Race hits another move, 1, 2, Race picks him up. Harley Race hits another move, 1, 2, picks him up. Harley Race hits another move, 1, 2, picks him up. And then he finishes them off with the cradle suplex, 1, 2, 3, Harley Race gets the win. Then we go to the Snake Pit with Jake the Snake Roberts. His guests are Slick and the One Man Gang. And we get a nice introduction of, the One Man Gang. His finishing move is referred to as the Master Blaster, we come to find out. And also that the One Man Gang is here in the WWF to go after Hulk Hogan. We then play a clip from Wrestling Challenge of the previous week of Dino Bravo against Brutus the Barber Beefcake. This match already in action, and you just basically get, the last couple minutes of the match. Beefcake wins via disqualification. After that, we come back. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is in action against Dusty Wolf. Now, during this match, we get a very interesting comment from Danny Davis saying how he thinks that he should get a shot at the Intercontinental title. And it just goes on with Ventura and McMahon saying, oh, he shouldn't get a title shot. Yeah, he should get a title shot. You know, back and forth, back and forth. And Ricky Steamboat gets the win, by the way, with a karate chop. I didn't want to forget that. So, now we go into our next episode. And this is a very interesting episode because we find out Jack Tunney's decision on the ruling of the DDT, plus we get another update on Superstar Billy Graham and another Snake's Pit. So this episode aired June the 6th, 1987, and this show begins, with Demolition going up against Paul Roma and Jim Powers. Now, interesting, it was Roma and Powers who asked for this match. They felt that they could beat Demolition. They think they can get them. No, you can't. No, you can't. Demolition gets the win. What did they do for the update? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. It just took me a second. So we go to the update, and it is just basically showing what happened last week with the Canine connection and the Islanders, and Bobby Heenan and the Islanders talking. So our next match is Tiger Chung Lee against Koko B. Ware. Now, during this match, we have Koko B. Ware talking, and he feeds his bird, Frankie, the WWF ice cream bar. Yep, even the birds got into the WWF ice cream bars in 1987. Koko B. Ware got the win via the dropkick. Then we get our decision from Jack Tunney about the DDT. After the thousands of mails that, and letters that got sent, Jack Tunney decided that he will not ban the DDT. So, during this next match, Don Adams and Stevie Aoki going up against Kamala and Sika, they quickly talk about, the DDT not being banned. But this match is a very quick match. Kamala and Sika get the win. Then we go into our next special report on Superstar Billy Graham. And basically, I'll just save you the time. It's the best of the special report on Superstar Billy Graham, because basically they showed us the clips of the first two parts in the third part, which really doesn't make sense. I don't know. So anyway, the next match is Ken Patera against Jimmy Jack Funk. This is sort of a nothing match. Ken Patera gets the win, with the bear hug. Now, on to the Snake Pit. Now, this is very interesting. Originally, the guests of this particular Snake Pit were to be Nikolai Volkov, Butch Reed, the Iron Sheik, and Slick. However, because the Iron Sheik got fired, they replaced that Snake Pit with another one. The guest, Outback Jack. You guessed it, probably the worst choice to replace the other Snake Pit segment. But Jake and Outback talk about, how Outback is liking America, and how do you get this crocodile on the back of his vest, and it's just a really weird one. It's weird. So we go to our tag team match, the next one, Tito Santana and Billy Jack Haynes going up against the team of Terry Gibbs and the Raider. Jesse Ventura wonders if Al Davis is the Raider. It's a very good question considering they moved from Oakland to LA during the 80s. Now, after this match, Tito Santana and Billy Jack Haynes get the win with a full Nelson. We are informed that on the next edition of Superstars, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat will challenge, or will defend the Intercontinental title against the Honky Tonk Man. So now we go to our final match, Brutus the Barber Beefcake against Tim Patterson. And basically during this match, they talk about the Intercontinental title match that's going to take place next week. Brutus Beefcake gets the win via the sleeper hold, does the haircut thing. And that's it. And then after that, we get comments from both Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Honky Tonk Man as they talk about the big Intercontinental title match next week. And we get to go to that right now. This episode aired June the 13th, 1987, held in Buffalo, New York at the Memorial Auditorium. So we kicked this episode off with tag team action. The British Bulldogs going up against the team of Dusty Wolf and Johnny Canine. For those of you who... excuse me a minute. For those of you wondering what has ever happened to Johnny Canine, he's now in jail. So anyway, it's the typical Bulldogs match. Davey Boy gets the win with the headbutt off the top rope. So, now we go to a special report. Again, it is Superstar Billy Graham. And we start off again with the desert clip. We don't need to see this man fall down 3 times. Excuse me. We don't need to see this man fall down repeatedly 3 times in 3 weeks. But we do see Billy Graham in what looks to be a rehab center trying to get his hip working again. So we go back to tag team action. Eric Cooper and S.D. Jones going up against the Islanders. This is the first time the Islanders appear as heels. And this is a good match. The Islanders are really an underrated tag team, I think, when you look at WWE history. They're really an underrated tag team. A very good, South Pacific tag team, that came along. Who knows? Maybe they should have had a reign as tag team champions. But the match ends when Haku and Tama hit their diving headbutts. Then we get a clip from the movie The Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura. So we get to see a clip of that movie. So after that, we go back to the ring, and it's the return of the Junkyard Dog as he takes on Terry Gibbs, and they point out how Junkyard Dog's added more muscle on him, and he looks a lot bigger, but more muscular. Junkyard Dog gets the win with the power slam. So, after that match, we go to the next one, another tag team match. This is like tag team galore in this one. I actually enjoy it. Scott Casey and Leaping Lanny Poffo against Dino Bravo and Greg Valentine. A good tag match. At one point, it looked like Casey and Poffo were going to win this match. Pardon me, but it doesn't happen. Bravo beats that team after he gives the side suplex to Leaping Lanny Poffo. Then we go to the Snake Pit, where our guests this week are Hillbilly Jim and Little Beaver. Now, of course, hold on. I'll let that go. Anyway, this is the first time that Little Beaver appears since the incident at WrestleMania 3 when King Kong Bundy delivered an elbow drop on to Little Beaver. And Hillbilly Jim says that he will get revenge on King Kong Bundy for what he did to Little Beaver. And Little Beaver says, well, I hope we get that fat piece of trash, King Kong Bundy. So then we go to the Intercontinental title match. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defending the belt against the Honky Tonk Man. Now, what's interesting about this is during the match, Vince McMahon says that he doesn't feel that, number one, Honky Tonk Man deserves a title shot, and number two, he probably isn't even in top contention for the belt. And this is somewhat it's a decent to good match. Honky Tonk Man gets beat up the first couple of minutes, then he gets advantage. And I really like the ending where Jimmy Hart's on the apron. He, gets grabbed by Steamboat. Steamboat knocks him down. He tries a small package on Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man stops it, and then while he's got him in the small package, grabs the rope. 1, 2, 3. Honky Tonk Man wins, is the new Intercontinental Champion. And then during that time when they were trying to figure out, who won, they were like, did Steamboat win? Or did Honky Tonk win? Pardon me. And then, they declared that Honky Tonk Man won the Intercontinental title. Now we come back and we see the replay. And I absolutely love this. This is hilarious. Bruno Sammartino is on commentary for the replay. He's like, well, here you see Steamboat, he gets Jimmy Hart, and then Honky Tonk Man, he gets Honky Tonk Man into a small package, but when he gets him, Honky Tonk Man reverses the small package, has him, no controversy whatsoever, shoulders are down to the mat, Honky Tonk Man, new Intercontinental Champion. Guys, did you see the part where Honky Tonk Man's grabbing the rope for added leverage? Am I the only one that saw Honky Tonk Man grab the rope? How could you miss that? So anyway, up to our final match of this episode, Silvano Sosa against the one-man gang. And this is just basically a one-man gang squash. He gets the victory. Now, after that match, as we're about to sign off, on this episode, Honky Tonk Man comes back out to the ring with Jimmy Hart. He thanks the crowd, for their support. He says that this title is for them, and he's going to celebrate by singing and dancing, and Vince McMahon's like, I can't believe this. Why would he do something like this? I can't believe it. This is just incredible. This is terrible. And that's basically your episode, or your final episode on this particular Superstars of Wrestling. I gotta say, I like the 3 episodes. The last episode was really good as far as telling a story. Plus, you had good tag team matches on this episode. And, you got to see a clip from the Predator. You also got to see, a heel or, babyface turning to being heels. We get Superstar Billy Graham falling over and over and over again. It's very good. This is really becoming a good year as far as watching this goes. Now, in the next review, whenever that will be, we'll get more clips of the Predator and the debut of a WWE Hall of Famer. Who is it? You'll have to tune in and see.